Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello,
Welcome
hello.
back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We have returned. We have returned.
We're back. We're back.
Welcome, welcome back to Reality Check Podcast, where tea is served and checks are dispersed.
You know it.
We are so excited to talk with you all today, and we have a special guest with us. By the name of Besties by Bravo, and her name is Caitlin. Please welcome Caitlin.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for having me. I had so much fun when y'all were on my podcast, and I'm just thrilled to be here and join you.
Absolutely.
And welcome back from the hiatus.
Thank you, thank you. We're so excited to have you on. Caitlin has been so gracious to us and so kind to us in this podcasting world. So it's absolutely an honor to have you on.
Oh my gosh, I'm honored. Okay. Make me blush.
Oh my. So
today,
today, my friends, we are talking all things Real Housewives of New Jersey. So if you have been paying attention, Real Housewives of New Jersey just ended their, is it 13th season? 13th or 14th?
Great question.
One of the teens.
It's up there.
It's up there. It is up there.
Not driving yet.
Right. So it's up there, and they just finished that season. So we are here to talk about all things that happened at the reunion, the state of the cast, and everything and above. So let's dive in, ladies. Let's dive in.
I know. I remember like the last time that we were all together, like we were talking about, that whole wedding fiasco and scenario.
Yes.
And we were on opposing points because I was just like, I was on my island by myself and you guys were together talking about, oh no, like this. So, I mean, then
Should
we
we
find
recap?
ourselves.
Should we recap?
Let's recap.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, let's see. For me, right, myself and Kaylin, we were both on the side of, we were talking about Teresa's wedding and whether or not she should have put Melissa in the wedding as a bridesmaid and so on and so forth. Caitlin and I were saying Teresa should have. As much as she preaches family, she should have put her in the wedding. Mara was on the side of, no, they're not even close. So what's the point?
Exactly.
Right.
Cool. All right, man. So where are we at now?
Yeah.
So we have a little bit more information, right, about things that were going on. And I would just let us just talk about it. So what do we still think? Are we still on that whole, like, she should have done it? It shouldn't have happened given all the information that, has now come out.
I think that, yes, she should have just asked her to be a bridesmaid. Okay? Do you... The amount of angst and animosity that could have been avoided. It's just sometimes weddings, people go a little nuts. And when I say people, I mean, for the most part, the people around you go a little nuts. And I've been through the wedding and I've been through the divorce. And, the thing is, and so has Teresa. But the thing is, I think even those of us who are not Trey Stumps, we want her to win and we want to see her be happy. I think that's just something we do want for her overall. Like, we don't dislike her in that, to that extent. Okay, maybe I should speak for myself on that. But this particular franchise is so divisive. It's just, I have never seen, you don't see people going after each other about Orange County like this. You don't really see anyone going after, people like this with Potomac even. It's pretty cut and dry.
I think that my point still stands. I still think that Teresa should have put Melissa in the wedding. But I think my reason is different than Caitlin's. Teresa specifically stated that the reason why she did not put Melissa in the wedding, not because they're not close, not because they've had issues in the past, but because, and I quote, but I'm not going to, it's a paraphrasing, but Teresa said that Melissa did not stick up for Louis and curse Margaret out when Margaret was bringing up the videos and the exes and that stuff about Louis. So she intentionally excluded her based on that. That is wrong. not because they're not close, not because of, oh, family this, family that. Meaning, the way I understood that was, if Melissa had cursed Margaret out in the way that Teresa would have satisfied Teresa, she would have been in that wedding.
I still think no. She wouldn't have been in the wedding. I just think Teresa's using that as an excuse. Come on. Like, she doesn't like Melissa. Like, it's... For me, I understand what you guys are talking about, but, like, honest to God, like, if you're not getting along with somebody, like, there's no need for them to be in the wedding. I think the most that she could have done is just, like, invited her to the wedding and then call it a day, right? That's it. Because that's her special day. We want to see her happy. We don't want to see her, like, upset or anything like that. I think it's right for her to make that decision to not have Melissa in the wedding. Now, I just think that the little pieces of information about, like, the whole cheating rumor, right? So, like, Melissa knowing about the cheating rumor that was happening and then being confronted by Louis to Joe about, like, hey, like, this is going on with your wife. Now, that adds a little bit more contention, right, to the matter of, okay, why are you trying to destroy my family? Which begs the question, why does Melissa feel at that point, she knew about the cheating rumor, right? So, like, why did she really want to be in Teresa's wedding anyhow, right? Knowing that Teresa was here to destroy her marriage in any case.
Now, well, I'm so sorry.
No, please.
Was there ever a party you didn't really want to go to, but maybe an invite would have just been nice?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I think that's where it would have gained a lot. And I think if Teresa had been strategic, if she had asked Melissa to be a bridesmaid and then Melissa turned it down, say, can you imagine how Teresa would have been able to hold that over her head forever? Like, she just didn't play it right. And I get it. Like, here's another point is, like, I do get the side of, it's your special day. You should get to have who you want there and who you don't. We're standing up there with you, right? Like, I do get that. But it's also, I have issues with the people who are willing to destroy relationships for what is one big party. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It doesn't make sense.
No, it's a wedding is a giant party. It is, with some formalities. But I think, I don't know. It's just, I think Teresa would have had at least another leg she could have stood on if she had just done it. Because also, they're the Italian family. Like, my ex is from Paterson, New Jersey. And they are a Macedonian family, which mirrors Greek, and they would kill me, but Albanian. And also, it's very similar.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. And so it's similar to that Italian type of mentality of you invite the whole family.
Right.
And listen, 9/10 of them didn't come to the wedding because it was out of state, which was fine, but they needed to be invited.
Right.
That's kind of, I think, where it comes down to. And listen, Teresa, like I said, would have had something good over Melissa if Melissa didn't go to the wedding and she was a bridesmaid. Can you imagine how much Teresa would have had on her?
And I also think it's just not consistent with the values that Teresa has preached her entire time on this show.
Yeah, the whole family.
You have preached how old school you are, how much you love family. And then all of a sudden, because of this one instance where it's not like what's her name again? Melissa. It's not like she did not, sorry. I can't remember these people's names. I know.
Sometimes, listen.
I was calling somebody something, I don't know. But it's not like Melissa did not approach Margaret and say, hey, you need to stop talking about this, right? She just didn't do it in the way that Teresa liked. Teresa wanted Melissa to come and, like, bang Margaret's head up against a wall and curse her out. She said on the phone, if you don't curse that B the F out, me and you are not going to have a relationship. Relax. Yeah. And still, even in that, it's still contradictory because you're allowing your friend to call your brother a whole bitch boy.
There you go.
Yeah, there's no element of forgiving Teresa on that.
No,
it's just like she's like she shouldn't have allowed that. That's family. Like,
it's
that's your
mixed
blood,
expectations.
No,
it's mixed match. What she expects of herself, she does not give, and she expects so much differently from other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in this instance, it was wrong of her to not put her in her wedding, because the reason why you didn't put her in in your wedding was you being spiteful.
It's a reason she stated it. Like, I just feel like Teresa just doesn't like Melissa. Like, so it's just,
no, you're right.
Like, there's no like atom of having her be part of that wedding. But the thing is also, like, does that give Joe the permission to have not walked Teresa down the aisle too as well?
I don't know that's the reason why that Joe. If I have my timeline, what did
Gia say in the reunion? What did she say in the reunion? Gia.
That was the thing. I'm wondering what y'all thought from that, because my takeaway was that Teresa didn't want Joe to walk her down the aisle to begin with. I was a little confused, unless I missed something, because listen, I was lost in the sauce of Scandival.
I know.
Yeah,
Scandival took over.
Yeah.
Scandival took over my timeline. I'm like, too bad I don't watch Vanderpump. But like, Scandival took over, so I understand.
Go back and watch it. I think you'd enjoy it. You can skip season 9, but okay. You don't really need season 9 unless anyway, I'm sorry, we're not talking about Scandival.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
My bad. But I don't recall there being like a thing where Teresa wanted him to end up walking her down the aisle. Now, there is one moment, I will give this to you, Mayor, where Melissa was not having Teresa's back, and this was it the season before last when Danielle pulled Margaret's hair. And that moment when they're at Dolores's party, and Melissa says to Teresa, whenever Teresa's like, oh God, I hope they're not going to show this. And Melissa's like, oh yeah, doll, they're going to show it. And there was that moment where I was like, geez, Melissa, you really were kind of ready to throw her under the bus. I will give you that. But it's like a friend of mine said this to me regarding Melissa and Teresa. That Teresa, her whole life most likely was not treated with the same regard that Joe was, her brother. And so, because we've heard kind of like how their dad, Nono, would be banging the table, and, because Joe does that. And it makes me uncomfortable when he does that. I don't like seeing that. You can be passionate without banging a table, all right? But also that Melissa kind of gets handed that love and affection from Joe Gorga by just being Melissa, and Teresa was treated how she was by Joe Giudice.
Joe Giudice, yeah.
And she thinks Louis is treating her probably the way
she
Joe
wants
Gorga treats
to.
Melissa.
Yeah, she doesn't have the wherewithal to understand the manipulation.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be careful here too, because Louis has been in the DMs of a lot of content creators.
Oh, really?
And now here's where, if he comes into y'all's DMs,
I welcome Louis. Louis, I welcome you. I will hand it to you.
I don't have the time.
But I will lose my shit. See, I have a hard time defending myself, but you go after my friends.
I know. Why is he entering people's DMs? Or what's his, how does he have all this time?
Thank you. That is exactly my point. I thought you were a very busy entrepreneur, Louis.
How does he have all of this time?
I just think Teresa can do better. I do.
I think she can. Yeah. I think she can. And I agree with you. Honestly, I'm not rooting bad for Teresa. I think just one of my main pillars is accountability. And it just really, I noticed like the housewives that I struggle with are those that are incapable of holding themselves accountable. I actually went back because I was bored this weekend, and I went back to watch some New Jersey reunions. And it was so funny because Teresa, like, she just doesn't know the definition of the word accountability. I think Andy had asked her one reunion, hey, you want Melissa to always be sticking up for you and having your back. Can you please tell us in which ways that you have had her back? Teresa's like, all the time, all the time. Roll the clip. Can you roll the clip?
What
do you mean roll the clip, ma'am? You know you haven't.
There was nothing, yes.
I think that was the last reunion.
Yeah,
like
was it last season or 2 seasons? Yeah, you're right. It was last season.
I think it was last year when she stood up and said, who's the fairest of them all? Teresa Giudice. Like,
wow.
Wasn't that? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was so whack.
Because she was wearing that like mirror
like,
dress or whatever. Teresa. Okay, so what do we think? Okay, so we have seen this season, and we have seen that there's this whole rumor thing about Melissa cheating on Joe. So essentially, for those that are listening, so what happened was Louis called Joe. I don't know if this was I don't know the exact timeline. I don't know whether it was in the off season or once the season started filming. Not exactly sure what that timeline is, but I do know that what they said while they were filming was 6 months ago. So whenever they were filming 6 months prior to that, Louis calls Joe Gorga to the house and says, "Hey, just so you know, there are rumors out there that Melissa has cheated on you with multiple men." Cool. So Joe goes back home, tells his wife what happens. Obviously, the wife has now his irate. Now, a few months later, Jennifer Aiden hears the same rumor. How she hears it, that's TBD. How Louis heard this, that's TBD. Anyways, God. I'm just telling the story, right? So Jennifer Aiden now goes and says, "Hey, Melissa, heard this rumor about you." Melissa still says nothing. Okay. Now we have gotten to the season, and we have seen a scene where Teresa's on FaceTime. Danielle and Jennifer Aiden are there, right? And Teresa and Jennifer are like laughing about a rumor about Melissa. Danielle's like, "Oh, can I know the rumor?" They're like, "No." A few months later, they're on their trip. Sorry. They're on their trip. Jennifer Aiden tells Danielle. Danielle's like, "Oh, no, no, no." And then in the finale, tells Melissa the rumor that she hears. Melissa flips out, starts chasing after Teresa. Don't know why she's chasing anybody. Melissa, she knows that she's not going to bust a grape and fight nobody. So I don't know why she's chasing people, but whatever.
Yeah, I just want to say that I like every single time I see Melissa getting upset, I'm like, girl, you're not gonna pop anyone. Like, just sit down. Like, like what was it?
She
what was
always
that?
does get up like that.
You know what I mean?
She does.
I'm like, Melissa, you're not hard. Can you sit down somewhere?
At all. Like, you can't bring the rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Like,
every time.
Like,
if it's Dolores, okay, maybe I'll sit down.
Then you'll be like, okay,
Dolores
wait a minute,
Yes.
Yeah, Dolores. But Melissa, ma'am,
like,
please.
Prima donna, come on, baby. Okay,
she really does. Every time she stands up, and I'm always like, what are you going to do?
Nothing. Like,
Melissa.
Nothing.
That nose job is still fresh. You're not going after that.
Melissa, you love your pretty face way too much to be fighting anybody. So please stop.
No shame in that either, okay?
Please stop. Anyways, so yeah, Melissa is chasing Teresa around the place. Lord. So what did y'all think about like how they reacted to this at the reunion? Essentially, right? This rumor was the catalyst for Melissa being like completely washing her hands and just not attending the wedding. So what did y'all think about this moment, this rumor and this story and how it all came about? And did you agree with Joe and Melissa not going to the wedding because of this rumor?
Okay. Well,
ahead,
I'll
Kate.
let you go first, Mayor. I've been going first quite a bit.
I mean, honestly, like sometimes I have very little to say about these things because,
You feel ganged up on.
It's no, you can gang up
we
on
don't want to
me.
do that.
It's okay, like but
It's okay.
it's okay. I mean, I think whatever is going on behind the scenes of their lives, the way that Melissa got up and started pointing the finger at Teresa, it was just like, okay, she thinks Teresa is the one that permeated all of this to happen and to bring it on the show. And I think, and I wonder, and it also makes me wonder, like, what are all the secrets that Melissa is holding about Teresa that she hasn't revealed on the show? Because she continues to say, like, I've always, like, kept myself quiet, like, this, and that. So, obviously, like, if those are feelings that she has in herself, that she's, like, protected Teresa and protected the family, and then all of a sudden now she's bringing out this information on national TV about me, right? I know Melissa has been accused of being a stripper. She's been accused of now cheating on her husband, like
multiple
all
times.
Of these things, like, coming up. So her rancor just went towards Teresa. So I get it. Maybe if behind the scenes something is going off that she's like, no, I'm not going to go and attack, what was her name? Jennifer. I'm not going to go and attack Danielle, but I'm going immediately for Teresa because Teresa must be the mastermind, right? Behind all of this that's going on. So if that is the case, then sure, right? She just had enough, right? So go ahead and go for the person that
you
that
feel
you
is
think
responsible.
is responsible for it. So
Not shooting the messenger. I appreciate
Right.
that. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to all of it, that whole thing was very odd to me. It was a little confusing. It was a little, like, what type of setup was there going on that, Jennifer Aiden being like, oh, no, Danielle,
I know.
you can't tell her? Oh, no.
All
Like,
season,
what are
she
you,
was
like,
being an actress. All season. Did you see her at the
Yes.
reunion when Andy asked her, "Oh, how are you and Bill now?" She's like, "Oh my gosh,
okay.
oh my gosh, I would never."
I've never been happier.
I think like the worst part
I
was
would
like
never
that whole cup reading that I was like, girl, you
Jennifer Aiden, she
you
said-
planned that.
she said-
Like you
Oh my gosh, how did you know?
I
Oh,
know.
I'm like,
and in her
oh my
confessional, she's like,
goodness.
oh, I might have told her that. I think
Yeah.
Listen,
Ooh.
some housewives are getting acting jobs. I mean, Taylor Armstrong somehow got an acting job.
Really?
But I mean, yeah,
Wow.
ma'am.
Wow.
I just,
I'm not even paying attention to life. What's going on? Wow.
listen, y'all. I worked my little butt off for so many years trying to get freaking acting jobs, and apparently all I needed to do was put some silicone on my lips and
Oh, and just
hung some candy.
I can't.
Now,
I
listen,
literally
I
can't.
do love me some Taylor. She is right behind me because I'm from
Oh, is that
Oklahoma.
her? That's
That
so
is her.
funny.
I'm about to take you out back and go Oklahoma on your ass. Like,
All right
yes,
now.
absolutely. Okay. And if you have to ask what going Oklahoma on your ass means, you don't want to know. So,
Okay, all right now. You better get it, Caitlin.
I'm not gonna ask. I'm not asking because I don't know.
Listen, I'm not busting grapes over here. I'm protecting this. It's fine. But where was I? Yeah, Jennifer Aiden. Here's the thing too, is like when they presented Danielle with like, hey, look, you were set up. I think Danielle's a fantastic addition. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love to see Atlanta find a way to get some sort of that type of casting. Okay.
Yes.
That being said, she literally there's something that happens when people get on Teresa's team. I'm worried about that. It's like there's this veil that's put over them where they're like, I must be loyal to Teresa. Oh, I am loyal to Teresa. I'm a robot for Teresa. And that's kind of what happened there. And it's a little like, baby girl, Danielle, you can see you were set up.
Yeah.
Jennifer, she may not have been taking acting classes with Heather Dubrow like Taylor Armstrong, but ma'am, you're like one of those I don't know, it's almost like Marilyn Monroe in a film. Where it's, oh, gee, mister.
Yeah.
Oh. And it's
Perfect.
gosh, golly gee. And even she gets like a little bit of a transatlantic accent going a little bit.
Oh my
And
goodness.
It's bizarre.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's
But-
it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I think Melissa, it was a little confusing to me too, how she wasn't. If I were Melissa, this is again just me strategically, I would have gone ahead and been like, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it on camera. You talked to my husband without me. Now, I want to ask y'all, if it's your brother though,
So
I know Andy asked that, but that's tough.
here's how I feel. Okay.
Yeah.
I can understand that it's Teresa's brother, right? But if this is your family and you don't have any, and you don't believe this rumor, then what's wrong with calling your family over? Hey, brother. Hey, sister. Come on over. We got to talk about a few things. It seems very odd. It seems like it comes across as though they believed the rumor so much so that like, hey, Joe, you probably have to protect yourself, get ahead of this rumor because this is what we're hearing. And I don't know, you may have to like think about your marriage or whatever the case is. Why not? What was the point and what was the intention with excluding Melissa from that conversation?
That's a very good point.
It
and
is.
The thing that I have an issue with also is Louis.
Yes.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
When it comes, I don't like him. And especially because you have not been part of this family from the inception, right?
No.
And irrespective of whether or not this is your soon-to-be wife or your wife that you are, helping and siding with or whatever it is that's going on with her family, he steps over the line way too many times.
Oh, yeah.
Way too many times. I'm like, you and Joe don't even have that type of diplomatic relationship for you to even be like, yo, Joe, come over, call you, and then let me tell you about your wife. How dare you?
You know what I'm saying?
One,
that's
how
crossing a
dare
major
you?
boundary.
That's like, you don't do that.
That's
you have
wild.
Nothing. And it's just also like, calm down. If you want to be the peacemaker in the family,
there you go.
You have to be an objective.
Thank you.
Party.
Thank
and
you.
He's not objective at all. And I'm like it's not his responsibility to have done that. If it was anybody's responsibility to call over Joe or talk to Joe and Melissa, let that be Teresa. She's the only family that they have left. So there's obviously a motive, right, behind just bringing Joe into the conversation. Why? Yeah. What that is, have no idea, right? Because they all get the same like notifications about rumors that happen to each and every single one of them. So
Thank you. And I'm not mad about. Sorry, Caitlin, go ahead.
No. The only thing I was gonna say is Louis. He the accusations against him by multiple exes cannot be ignored. Now, again, I don't want to get y'all. Because listen, Louis, you come after my friends. I don't know what I will do, but I will do.
Again, something. Louis, I welcome you.
I do not welcome you. Into
I wish you
DMs.
would.
I repel you, demon.
Right. I rebuke you.
Go ahead, Caitlin.
Not today, Satan. Not today, neck. Not today, ankles.
Not today, Kool-Aid, Mr.
Not
Purple.
today.
The thing is, it is. His behavior, the red flags are there. Right?
Yeah.
Why does someone, now, and no offense intended, but why does someone who wants everyone to think that he is the smartest person in the room decide to marry kind of the dumbest person in the room?
That's a great point. Yeah.
Because he gets more power with her.
Of course, she's easily controlled.
You know what? And that's you, Caitlin. Before you go, that brings up a great point because remember the whole Pizzagate situation, right?
Yep.
Like I was listening to the after show and Teresa was like, "I was just doing what Louis told me to do," and I was like, "What? Like,
didn't you do that with Joe Giudice?
Yes, and
it landed her in jail. Thank you.
Like,
exactly.
Okay, go ahead, Caitlin. Go
exactly.
ahead. Sorry.
No, it's because that's the thing. Is it? I've had relationships where there was that type of narcissistic abuse, and I have been in therapy for over a year, wanting to make sure that I am looking for those red flags, and in that, Louis, it's like Louis, Tom Sandoval, Tom Schwartz, they are right there.
Wow.
It is so apparent the way Louis will kind of shucks himself when Andy was like, well, why didn't you call Melissa too? Because I just called Joe. Gosh, my bad. I just called Joe.
Right.
Because that's the thing about a liar.
Right.
They will admit to a typically
small
an embarrassing or a small, there you go, small infraction, instead of admitting to the big lie.
Big thing.
It's usually when someone is really lying. Like that was something.
Oof, this is demonic.
It is. Well, and that's where, like, again, we're not going back to Scandival, but here's the best example I can give is there was a time when Tom Sandoval told his girlfriend Ariana that he was stuck at a party because he was taking a shit, and that was an embarrassing thing to say. So it wasn't the truth. He chose not to leave to go be with her when her grandmother had just died. He chose to stay there with his mistress, and he said he couldn't leave because his friend left without him because he was in the bathroom taking a big old poop. So what is that? That's an embarrassing truth
right.
quotes around truth.
Right.
And so that's where when Louis does the shucks, you're like, gosh, I was angry because for him admitting he was angry at any point, like that finale episode when he's yelling about Bo Dietl, which Bo Dietl sounds like a country music song. It's weird, right? Like a twangy, and he admitted he was angry. So for Louis, that was an embarrassing admit. And it's just like all the signs are there.
Yeah.
And he's scary.
Yeah.
He has put everything of Teresa's in his name, from what I hear.
Yeah,
the house.
Allegedly.
Is it alleged that they did not sign a prenup? That's not alleged. That's fact, right?
That is we're going to allege that.
Let's allege it.
Let's
allege it, but it's allegedly fact, but allegedly.
Okay.
Can I say that?
Okay.
Can I say allegedly fact, but allegedly?
You could say allegedly fact.
Right?
Okay.
I think that works. I'm not an attorney. Please don't take my advice.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, Louis is definitely, he is a big walking red flag. And that whole rumor thing, I believe it was just, it was definitely a setup, yet another setup. And I honestly do not fault Melissa for immediately going straight to Teresa and getting upset, because Teresa, for all the time that she has been on the show, has been the source of Melissa getting set up.
Yeah,
continuously.
That
so
strippergate thing,
it's even if Teresa had nothing to do with it, right? I can understand Melissa still going straight to Teresa to blame her for it because of that association. Continuously throughout the years, Teresa has, because she's been that source, obviously there's going to be like an implicit association that's created.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I can understand immediately. And Jennifer, because she's Teresa's minion, anything bad about Melissa, Jennifer is so ready to do.
Yeah.
Jennifer is so ready. I heard this rumor. Oh, by the way, I'm a bridesmaid. Oh, guess what, Melissa? You know what I mean? Like, she just does way, way, way too much. So too much. I don't fault Melissa. Obviously, like, this is a family matter, but Teresa did involve other people yet again. So yeah, I don't fault her.
Yeah. But one thing I will say about for Teresa, I clap for her. There's growth that has happened with her. And the fact that, like, when Melissa came and attacked her, Teresa just was like, I don't want to talk to you. I just don't want to talk to you. In the past, she would have just, like, flipped someone off. She would have, like, gone off and gone crazy. So I'll give her a little bit of,
all that growth went back at the reunion, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, where was that growth?
No, but she's trying.
She was like
I
feral.
love to see elements of somebody trying, trying her best.
I hear you.
I really do. So
I hear you.
But yeah.
Okay.
I do hear you. Hear you.
What the question that I was going to ask was, how much of it is growth, or how much of it is her just memorizing the script that Louis gave her?
Of her, like, what, walking away?
Yeah, of how to
from
make Melissa look bad, Melissa and Joe look bad. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you do this, then you will be able to regain your power, and then they will be, of course. Absolutely.
Do you remember when he wrote on the notepad for her when she was calling her, make peace?
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, because we see elements of Teresa flying off the handle like she typically does, right? And then Louis there to, like, come in and try to save her. Like, for example, with that her offspring situation. Sorry, I'm really trying not to talk about anyone's kids. Her offspring, the first one.
Okay. What about
I'm not saying her name. The first offspring. When
Gia.
Go ahead. I'm not talking about the offspring. But anyways, with the situation where her uncle and the whatever he brought up at the reunion about her, right? Teresa was 10 toes down that was a lie. 10 toes down that was a lie. Then you go backstage, she's don't follow me, crying backstage. Then Louis comes and is like, oh, I actually had a conversation with Gia in the kitchen, and she said, if I did say anything like that, then I meant, like, come back and be better for your wedding or whatever nonsense.
It was a miscommunication, is what it was. It was a miscommunication in complete and total. Something I will say, I think Teresa raised some wonderful children. I think those girls are great. I think they are wonderful. So from what I have seen, it's just kind of, it's very difficult when you don't see the Gorga children saying boo about anything. And all you hear are the Giudice girls constantly. Now, that is up to their parents,
that's what in my
opinion.
Yeah.
Even if I am 35, I'm not 35, I'm 34. Okay. But even if I'm 34 years old, if my parents say, Caitlin, don't speak about the relationship between myself and my brother, guess what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that publicly. That's on I because I respect my parents in that way, and I think those girls respect their parents in that way, and they're not being told that. And it's not even about like being told what to do. It's about, hey, we are people who love you, and we're family. We're asking you to not comment on this. It's plain and simple, just as if a friend would ask you, right? So I don't. It's very difficult for me when Teresa sets up the girls. Like, the girls are in confessional, they're earning a paycheck. Where's the line? Because that's when, if they're earning the paycheck, it's a little tough. If they're not earning a paycheck, like the Gorga kids aren't. They're, as far as we know, they're not in confessional. That's where my mind says, okay, they're earning money. If they're sitting in a confessional, they've gone through hair and makeup, they've picked out 3 outfits that they have to rotate out and come back when the season is wrapped and talk, all of that, right? So I'm kind of like, if the Gorga kids aren't saying anything, why are the Giudice girls saying something?
That's a really good point. Like, it's like the children, I wonder if like they should ever be brought up in these scenarios and situations. But wherein I have a little bit of issue, or a little bit of a different opinion with it, is that the Giudice girls have been an integral part of New Jersey. Like, no matter how anybody wants to flip it, they have been ever since Nona, ever since the whole entire jail the jail situation was the catalyst for those girls to be a mainstay of the show, right? Because we really got to see what the impact was for them, and especially Gia. Since she was like, what, little? Is it 9 or teensy? She has been little. Even in a confession. She's been in a confessional even when she was that little, right? Talking about her experience, how she misses her dad, her mom, and all of that stuff. So I feel like they deserve to be, saying things, not necessarily saying things about their aunt, right? Not saying negative things about her. They shouldn't be saying anything like that. But there is such a part of their story that I think that the viewers would appreciate to understand really how the dynamic has played between what they know about what's going on with their mom and what they know that's going on, with their uncle. So the decision for the Gorgas not to allow their children to come on to the show in that manner or in that way. I don't know if it's even their decision, or if it's maybe production has decided, like, your children are not that interesting. Who knows, right? The decision, if the parents made that decision, that is theirs, and I really applaud them for it, because, we shouldn't really be having contention between the cousins and contention where these children are talking badly about their aunt and uncle.
Correct.
So that's where I find myself.
I think I agree with a lot of that, though. So,
in some ways,
they've been on there forever. They have been
on there forever, and I am not opposed, like, the children being on the show. I've shared on TikTok some of my views, like, partially, so I feel like this is a space where I can expand on that. So I feel that there's nothing wrong with them being on the show. New Jersey, especially the New Jersey franchise, is about family, is about those family connections, because, that whole, we get that. So there's nothing wrong with them being on the show. I think that it's okay to, like, similar to the Gorga children, they're filming with their parents, and you just get that, like, family, like, what's her name? Andrea is going to, that's not her name. What is her name? What is that baby's name? What is Melissa's daughter's name?
You see, that's the problem. We really don't know.
Antonia.
Antonia. Right? Thank you, Lord.
Really
what I call her, Andrea? Lord help me.
There's Antonia, little Joey, and
there's Gino. Or is Joey and Gino the same person?
There's a third one. Oh, God.
There's
Gino, yeah.
Either way, that's fine. If we don't know her name, honestly, that's fine. Because her parents signed up for Real Housewives of New Jersey, right? All we get are cutesy little family moments. Oh, Antonia's a cheerleader. Woohoo! Oh, dropping off Antonia to college. Oh, Gino's going to wrestling or whatever. That's fine. That's, Antonia's learning how to drive. We only get those moments. We only get those moments of just family interactions.
Right.
Now, I agree. I applaud the way that they have protected them or sheltered them from publicly speaking about the things that are going on with their family. I'm sure they have opinions. They were raised in this. Honestly, like we saw the christening, you know what I mean, and how the Gorgas were introduced to us, right? So I'm sure they definitely have opinions. Share that with your parents privately. That should not be shared on this public platform. You should in no means be talking about your aunt on a public platform, right? Because then that introduces a litany of problems and a litany of like cousin rivalry. And now the the issues that are going on between the parents has now gone to the next generation. You know what I mean? And I think that's where it becomes problematic. So for me, I am not in agreement with the Giudice girls speaking about the situation publicly. If they would like to be on the show, and if Teresa wants them on the show, continue to have your cutesy family moments, like how they would film No and like Gia taking pictures with No and Melania running around and like just being Melania. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think those things those are cute. Continue to be like cutesy. But the moment now you're including children into the drama is where I draw the line, which is why I also did not agree with Joe bringing up Dolores' son.
On the reunion, right?
At the reunion, I did not agree with that.
And
if Frank's doing it, that's one thing, right?
That's one thing.
And I love Dolores for being like, I've never had a problem with you, Joe, but
so
you are not going to talk about my child. Don't do that. Like, that's not going to happen. I'm like, don't mess with Dolores. Don't mess with her.
But let's also talk about Joe. It seemed like the intention was to continue to paint a certain picture of Louis. We already got the picture, Joe. You don't have to say anything. And for you to go so low to bring up somebody's child in order to do that, I felt was wrong.
I think he was just so caught up in trying to prove himself right that he just, I mean, even bringing up Dina's husband, who Dina, now here's the thing though, do y'all actually believe that it was just Dina wanted no part of filming? Because Andy made a great point. She could have just not signed the release.
That is very true.
Like, and I'm sorry, I keep bringing up Vanderpump Rules. I'm so sorry, but this is the best example I can give because Jax and Brittany went to Sheena's wedding. You saw nothing of them. So with the best example, it's another wedding.
Yeah.
And they could have easily cheated so many shots to not have Dina, even if she was a bridesmaid in it.
Of course.
So I'm kind of like,
of course.
I think something
I don't believe
happened.
it. Something definitely happened. I don't agree. I don't believe whatever story Teresa is trying to tell or Louis is trying to tell. Louis is a proven liar.
That's it.
So I don't believe whatever he's trying to say. Definitely there are issues there. What I just take issue with Joe continuously trying to use those as his points or his stepping stool in order to continue to perpetuate the narrative that we have already created ourselves just based on what we have seen of Louis.
We can, you're right. We have figured it out. We can conclude it, and that's the thing too, is it's the biggest point here, I think, is that just to what you were saying, like each franchise kind of has their pillar. Right. Not all of them really have a solid pillar, but New Jersey is one that it has been clear from the beginning that it is family. Yeah. And so when you see the families getting along, it's actually what we want.
Yeah.
Because when we see them doing things and saying things that they can't come back from, because we've all seen, like, Raccoon Eyes. Listen.
Who's that?
Joe Giudice called Melissa that.
Yeah.
So, listen, you can come back from that,
right?
Like, that's a shitty thing to
He's
say.
Also called her horsey face.
That a little hard to come back from.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, there are certain things you can, like, you can move on from. You can forgive and just be like, whatever. I do have a problem. Like, I do feel sometimes the Gorgas in general can be a little bit opportunistic. And I have an issue with that. There was something Melissa posted a while ago where she basically said, I like to cook too. And it was like, no one was saying you didn't. Like, it's like y'all are so obsessed with each other.
Yeah.
Either just love each other or stop. Like, leave each other alone.
No.
I know what it's like to sometimes have contention with in-laws and things like that. And I cannot imagine on any platform in any way going that far. Like, there's nothing that could make me go that far. And it's also like, look, I can talk shit on my family for a minute, but the second you say a word,
Period.
you don't get to chime in.
Period.
That's right.
That's my.
That's
I get
right.
to talk shit. You don't know them like I do.
Period.
That's right.
That's
No.
exactly it. And honestly, you
yeah.
bringing up the fact that Joe called Melissa raccoon eyes or horsey face and all, that actually reminded me another reason why I really do not like offspring of cast members like chiming in on the drama. Because I remember when the Giudice girls were little, they would actually say things like that. They would be like, "Oh, I'm Melissa the stripper."
On the pole.
On the pole.
They
Remember
said
that?
that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Terrible.
And this
You
was
didn't
when
come up
this
with
was one of the
that.
younger ones. I think it was Melania or the other one.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was
The
one of the
little one.
younger ones. They were like, "I'm Melissa. I'm the stripper. Oh, I'm horsey face." Can you
Their
imagine?
dad was. Oof.
Their dad was
That would be
ruthless, and
so
Wow.
hurtful.
that's problematic.
Yeah,
that
it
is
is.
so problematic. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's what we're discussing. I think it begs the question of parenting styles.
There you go.
Right. Parenting styles, and the parenting styles that have been chosen by this side of the family, it lends itself to these girls thinking it's okay for them to have this type of discourse. And then the other parenting style, yes, keeping your kids away from saying it on national television. Don't know if they're saying it behind the scenes or anything like that.
That's your family
but
business.
That's your family business. But where they are opportunistic is Melissa's podcast. It is full of her just talking about them kids. Like she is continuously.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
Continuously. And it's just like, she's like, I don't want to be that aunt, but you are. Right? So
Well-
just stop talking about the kids a little too much. Like, oh. And then, and did Teresa really need the money
for what?
for that pizza thing? Like Joe kept saying like, oh, like, my sister, yeah, give it to my sister. She really needed the money.
She's still paying off.
She's still paying off the tax lien?
Yes.
Okay.
From
All
the
right.
In fact, you
little
know what's so
pizza ovens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which, how much do y'all want pizza? The more we talk about a pizza oven, and in her pizza oven, I'm like, well, damn, I would have probably considered buying one.
You know what, Mary? Can I ask you about that? Because I was thinking maybe it's just a New Jersey thing, but because I'm like, I don't love pizza that much. Like I can just
Pizza in Jersey is a great thing.
Okay, so then I was like, maybe the market
Oh my God.
is in
Yeah.
Jersey.
Okay, wait a minute.
That's what I was thinking.
Pizza?
Pizzas, bagels, all that stuff. Yes.
Got it.
Mouth. Pizza
Nice.
and bagels.
Yeah.
That is my ex-father-in-law would ship bagels to us. Oh my God, because it's the water. That's why like I know it's disgusting, but like that's why like the hot dogs in New York, the hot dog stand, those hot dogs
Yeah.
are better because the hot dog water is better. I know it
Yes,
sounds
better.
so. I know hot
I
dog
know.
water sounds like the
Yeah.
most disgusting.
Yeah.
But the water there, like there was some bakery that was in New York and they opened up a franchise and they tried to do it in like Los Angeles and they weren't getting the same results for their bagels and they realized it was because of the water and they had water from New York shipped to Los Angeles to make these bagels because it's like they're softer and they're fluffier.
Yes,
like
they are.
Wow.
oh my God. Listen,
Now
can
I
I
have to
just
try this?
Yes, the bagel. Let me tell you the best. Like,
Yes.
if you like meat and cheese and all, and I don't eat
Oh
pork.
wow.
Okay, you get an onion bagel. Yes, if you go to New York or New Jersey, oh my God, you get
Yes.
you get the onion bagel. You get cheese on it. You get red onion, and then you get like some turkey bacon or turkey sausage. Or if you eat pork, then do that, and then you get the egg on it. But make sure you got the cheese and the onion, and then you throw some tomato.
Oh wow.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
The
That's
red
delicious.
onion,
Yeah,
and
that
maybe
sounds
like you can
delicious.
do a little hot sauce with it because I like
Yeah.
things a little spicy. But like the red onion, if it's a good raw red onion, okay, I'm sorry, now I'm hungry.
Oh,
No,
now I'm
I mean,
hungry.
she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
Now I'm hungry.
yeah.
What y'all
Dough for
doing
the
to me?
pizza.
She's not wrong.
That pizza dough.
Now I am
New York
hungry.
Really good.
style is the way to go with pizza. I'm not a Chicago style pizza girl. I'm a
I
New York
hate
style.
Chicago style pizza.
too
I
thick.
went to Chicago. I was like, yeah.
I
I
hope
was like,
nobody
ooh.
from Chicago is listening.
Oh,
It's
sorry.
okay. They
I mean,
don't
listen,
listen.
I'm
It's
sure
not good.
y'all have plenty of other
It's not
delicious
good.
food. But it's just like, it's too
No.
heavy in my stomach. Okay.
Yeah. Leave it out a little bit, you'll see it becomes soggy and
Ew.
like watery
Yeah.
and everything.
Ew.
Especially the deep dish because that's their thing, right? So
Yeah.
Yes.
no,
I need
yeah,
a
no.
big slice.
So what do y'all
Yeah.
think of Teresa? Would you guys buy Teresa's pizza oven?
No, I would not. Yeah.
Depending on the price.
How much is it? I'm
Caitlin.
gonna look this up. Hold on. How much is
Is it
that
like a
pizza?
toaster
Don't-
oven?
don't-
Why am I picturing it like a quesadilla maker? I don't know
I
what's
know,
wrong with
Right.
right? Me too.
Hold on,
but
let me-
Are you?
see.
Because I thought I looked at someone bought one and like
It's called
I thought
skinny pizza, right?
skinny Italian.
Oh, skinny Italian. Okay. Dang, man, all we hear is the you type in.
You're like that meme, the tap
Right?
tap.
Man, that's all we hear.
I know.
Is your hard typing.
My hard typing? Oops,
Yeah.
sorry, girl.
No, it's
sorry,
fine.
sorry. Girl, why are we wasting our
Market.
time looking this up?
I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so moving on. We'll get back to that later. So moving on, Teresa.
We were hungry, that's why.
I know, right? Because we're
Yeah.
hungry. Teresa has accused Melissa and Joe of being responsible for putting her in jail. So just let's track this.
God.
Let's track this. So at first, Teresa believed it was Caroline Manzo.
Right.
Then Teresa believed it was Jacqueline Larita. Then Teresa believed it was Jesus Christ. Then Teresa believed
The
it
blood
was
of Mary
Besties
and
by
Joseph.
Bravo. Then, right, then Teresa believed it was Barack Obama.
Yep.
Then Teresa believed it was Beyonce Knowles, and the list just goes on and on and on. And it really just depends on who she's mad at the most. So, Marge Marge ruined and destroyed her family,
Yep.
but Melissa and Joe put her in jail today.
Sure did.
So, would love to know, and she's also quoting, this was the kicker, and I was actually glad that Andy brought this up. She is quoting, her source is, you ready, y'all? Can we do a drum roll?
I can't roll my eyes.
Jacqueline Larita.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my.
Her source
Y'all.
is Jacqueline Larita.
No, I just
Jacqueline
think the fact-
Larita.
I just think the fact that she said, I spoke to the FBI. I said, you what?
Who was their number?
The FBI ain't
What?
talking to you, girl. Come
Like,
on.
what?
They said
What?
Teresa said, "I'm calling for the FBI,"
Oh.
and they said, "I'm sorry, who's calling? Who gets the number to the FBI?
Girl.
Number one."
I know. I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, they are not going to divulge that information to you.
Teresa
like, that's
is-
wild.
Comment on anything.
And then here goes Jen Aiden. There's proof, though. There's proof. Ma'am, please stop making yourself look stupid. Please stop making yourself look stupid. This is killing me. Please stop. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Jen Aiden is hysterical when she's not being, like, when she is not, like, literally parked inside of Teresa's butthole.
Oh, my gosh. She is unbearable.
Hysterical when she's. I think Jen Aiden is so funny when
so
she's not being
obnoxious
like
to me.
that.
Ugh.
She's, every time she battles with Marge, I'm like,
I hate
I-
that
she's-
though. I love
love
Marge.
it. Like,
I love Marge.
It's
I
so
can't
good.
help it. I don't know why. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because somewhere deep inside of me I like Joan Rivers or something. I don't know what it is, but I like Marge. And so like it drives
Don't be
me nuts. I hate it when they both go so
Ah.
low like that.
yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
but yeah,
No.
I love how Teresa was like, "Oh yeah, no, I take that back. I think you put me in jail." No, girl.
Yo, your
ex-husband
accent
put
is
you
I
in
love
jail.
the accent, yeah.
It's perfect. It's literally Teresa. Oh my goodness. It's just kind of like, I'm wondering because there are some blog sites out there that are actually like full on Team Teresa and they are very, very biased. I wonder, right, if that's a part of the paid smear campaign, if they are being paid. You feel me? Okay. So I wonder.
So you saw the the post that okay.
Wait,
So
wait,
I'm
wait.
just
I didn't see it. So somebody tell me what's
I'm
going
not
on.
naming the blog. I'm not naming them.
Don't name it. Just tell me what's going on. Like,
okay, I'm gonna try and put this in a way because Louis threatened to sue this person.
okay.
And I had spent an entire day covering all 3 episodes of the Range reunion. And I had to basically throw it all away because I said, you know what? I have a long list of things that could stress me out if I want to choose one. Louis, in that his purple man syndrome is not going to be one of them. So I had to scrap an entire day's worth of work that I could have just spent with my child. So am I totally blaming Louis for that? Yes.
Yep, period.
So
Period.
essentially, we're going to put alleged because it is alleged. We don't have the full exchange proof, okay? There is a woman who worked in development in Hollywood. She is a well-known Bravo commentator and content creator. That's the way I will put that. She alleged that a dear friend of hers for many years who is in PR was hired to work for Louis and Teresa. And her, I'm going to say the word so many times, y'all are going to hate me, but I'm just protecting everyone here. Yes, exactly. Allegedly, her best friend of like 30 years was hired for their PR team. And allegedly, Louis and Teresa were hiring her for promoting this app he was developing with his son. And allegedly, to make sure Margaret lost a deal with Walmart, which I'm not entirely certain where the Walmart deal came in. It must have been with her non-alcoholic drink line. That is my only assumption. With that, she alleged that that was the biggest back and forth, was that this friend of hers was hired to do a smear campaign against Marge. Then she allegedly reached out to this blogger, content creator. I hate calling, we're not bloggers. What the hell?
Content creators, yeah.
This content creator reached out to Marge to let her know. Now, this is where things get a little too blurred. And I don't know if I were Marge that this is the route I would have taken as a thank you. She thanked this content creator by sending her a gift card, like a $500 gift card. Thank you. What you should have done, Marge, probably is sent some flowers, sent the non-alcoholic drinks. If this person drinks, sent her champagne. I would not have sent anything that had actual monetary value. Because then allegedly Louis was intent on using that as saying Marge pays off bloggers.
Okay.
Again, here's one more alleged. Okay? And Louis has been in the DMs of friends of mine. People that someone I consider a dear friend, trying to, I'm not even going to say what he was saying in there, okay? But he has been in their DMs. He has been very aggressive to the point of allegedly even accusing this one content creator, the one that posted about all of this, of taking money from that, and I quote, allegedly the DM said that, I don't even want to say, pig, in all caps,
I saw
referring
that.
to Marge.
Wow.
So there are some content creators who think that Teresa cares about them and knows them. She doesn't care about you
At all.
Wow.
She has no idea who you are.
Yeah.
And they are writing so hard for her.
Yeah.
I've even had friends. I have friends who we have completely opposing views, like dear friends that we have completely opposing views. And I listen, y'all, I popped off on a TikTok right before this, and I hadn't posted on TikTok in a while. I'm scared to even look at my phone. But I bought her my friend Jessie. She's the reality witch. She loves Teresa. For her birthday, I bought her a cameo for Melania because I couldn't afford Teresa. And hers is like $300. But like, I know she loves her. And Bravo's supposed to be fun, right? So I bought her a Melania one. It was like $80. That's different, right?
Right.
So I bought that for her. Because who gives a shit? Teresa doesn't care if I love her or not.
Like at all.
But then I have friends who are in my DMs about something I posted to my story that I didn't tag this friend in. They had nothing to do with it. I just posted like, Louis and his red flags. And this person wouldn't let up to the point where I said, I love you as a friend, but if you don't stop, we're not friends. This is crazy. Boundaries, right?
People are really going hard.
So the best way exactly. And I'm talking too much, but this is where I'm going to conclude it.
No, please.
Another friend of mine, because I don't want to drop names here and get
Yeah,
in any hot
please
water.
don't.
So I'm sorry
Don't
I keep
drop.
saying friend. But this other friend of mine and I were talking about it, and we kind of could best compare it to people who are hardcore Trumpers.
Yeah.
That's how
can
it
see that.
feels. And it's like, because it also reminds me of that election way back when it was like, okay, you got Hillary Clinton or Trump. This isn't a political podcast, but it was like, who's the lesser of the two evils?
Right.
Right.
I'm gonna vote for Hillary, so guess what? The Gorgas are Hillary.
Right.
Because it's just getting out of hand.
Wow.
It's getting out of hand. You
It is.
cannot Louis is going to single-handedly take down New Jersey Housewives if he does not get a grip.
Yeah.
You don't be on the show if you don't want to be a part of the narrative.
It's honestly,
don't be sitting on the show saying
wild.
shit like I wear your father's pajamas to make the girls feel safe and loving.
Can we talk about that?
I was hoping we wouldn't even try.
Honestly, no. I just wanna point out, like, Louis changes his. It doesn't make any sense. He tried to
man.
the reunion. Honestly, the reunion. Louis should probably just not attend. Louis should just not be on the show, because it's weird. It's very odd. He tries to clear up these crazy moments that he had during the season. We all heard exactly what he says. No one like is mixing up his words. We heard what he said. He wears Nono's sorry, it's also very weird for me to say Nono because I was born in Greece and Nono is actually godfather, not grandfather, but whatever. He wears Nono's pajamas to make the girls feel comfortable. But at the reunion, he wants to clear it up. No, that's not what he meant. It actually came off creepy. What he meant was he wears Nono's sweatpants to make Teresa feel comfortable.
Right, but then Teresa said on her podcast, no, actually, it was some Ralph Lauren's that the tags were still on, and there were some like flannel pajamas. No, could y'all figure? So how many pairs of No-No's leftover pajamas does he wear?
Get the story right.
And it was just like the way,
bro.
like he couldn't even finish the sentence. It was so weird to make them feel, to be endearing and make them feel safe and loving. What?
How in the world is that endearing?
It was so weird.
There was no way that he could recover from that comment.
He said to Joe, I don't wear your dead father's pajamas. And then he was sorry to say that. It was like, that's the real you. That's the real you.
It is. If anybody should be wearing No-No's pajamas, it should be Joe. Yeah. It should not be
There
Louis.
You go.
Like,
there you go.
There was no way to recover from that.
He wasn't.
Just lied.
It was very weird.
His teeth.
It was very weird. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I want to ask you all one more question to just conclude the New Jersey season. Who we still don't know the season, but whatever season this is, let's go ahead. Let's see. So, where does the show and casting go from here? Who do you think should come back? Who do you think should stay? And if there are suggestions for potential additions, who do you think should come in?
This is going to be controversial. Especially all the shit I've been talking. Excuse me. I think Melissa and Joe need to just go live their lives and be happy. I think we need to bring Caroline back and then keep the rest the same. Because Caroline would bring the controversy we need. And then I think we've got Rachel and John are great casting. Like John Fuda, my God, the way he stood up to Louis.
Whew.
Oh,
came in activated.
I was like, I get it, Rachel. Okay. I will change my name to Fupa adjacent as well.
Right.
My goodness.
Right. Honestly.
Yeah, I think Danielle is fantastic casting, but she's going to have to not run away every time. I just can't imagine you're going to have Jersey without Teresa. And then, so with that, we either, and again, Vanderpump Rules, I'm so sorry. Brock, Sheena's husband, was really pulled back and not even considered much of a cast member this season. And that's what they're going to have to do with Louis. Otherwise it's done. Like, and so if they want to try and do that, then let's do that with, then keep Melissa and Joe, but then how do we not have Joe Gorga as an integral part of it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Joe Gorga is an integral part of the men. Absolutely.
A huge part of it too.
Absolutely. And that dynamic between he and Frank, I think is it's needed.
They can't lose that.
Yeah. So I agree.
They can't lose that.
If possible, I would say Teresa and her husband, and Joe and Melissa. If possible, I would say, listen, you guys need to go and heal. Go and heal and come back when you're able to actually just stay in the same room. Because right now, the hatred, the hurt, the pain is so incredibly high. For I also would agree. I think that a lot of people did not like Rachel and John Fuda, which I can see why. But I think that Rachel Fuda works with this cast. If the cast were to change up and then she now has to be the main shebang, it's not going to work. She can't do that.
Good point.
She's a good supporting cast member. So I think she works. Definitely come back. Now I'd be interested to see if Bravo will bring on Danielle's brother, especially since she said that New Real Housewives of New Jersey was his favorite show in their household. Yeah. So I would not be surprised if they do get rid of the Gorgas and try to recreate that same family dynamic and bring on Danielle and her brother, because that would be, I think people would definitely want to know what's going on there.
New generation.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see family strife on my TV
I don't either. I really don't.
It hurts your heart a little bit.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. I don't want to see it, but I would not be surprised if Bravo pulled that type of move, because honestly, across the Housewives shows, their ratings are are down the drain. You know what I mean? So I think that to pull some type of a shebang, I would see them doing that.
I mean,
and get rid of Jackie.
Ratings are down compared to Vanderpump Rules right now, though. Did you know Vanderpump Rules was the highest, had the highest ratings?
Whoa.
Of any cable drama
this
year so far. That's how insane it's been.
Scandival?
Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry I interrupted you. Yes. So that's where it's been like, I think we've all been so sucked in by this thing, and it's been so heavy. New Jersey's been heavy. We need petty. We need fun petty.
Yeah.
That's where
like
our next conversation. Atlanta's been a little rough as well.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And I also think get rid of Jackie, what's her name? Goldschneider or whatever. She's not needed. I like Jen Fessler as a friend of, because she was funny.
I love Jen Fessler.
She was funny.
My God.
She's
hysterical.
Funny. She is.
We need her in there. She's normal, but crazy. And I keep calling them her moms, but her mom and her aunt. Oh my God, I loved it.
Yeah, the twins.
Loved it.
Literally so cute.
They were adorable.
Yeah, very cute.
And listen, Jen Fessler, like, I don't like to I'm not usually in Housewives DMs very much, like, because I'm kind of like, I want to be able to be objective a little bit. And Jen Fessler has been so nice, and she's so sweet.
Aww.
And it's like, it just makes it fun to like her.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because she, like, even when, I can't remember who, was it Teresa someone said to her, Jen, why don't you, at the reunion, why don't you chime in? And Jen said, oh, no. I'm not, no. I was like, thank you.
My favorite.
Clean hands.
She's not doing it. Right. My favorite Jen Fessler moment was during the finale. She's talking to Dolores' son, Frankie. And she's like, you're cute. I have a daughter.
Do you have a girlfriend?
You have a girlfriend? No? What's your number? Give me your number. Take my number. That was the realest moment. I thought it was hilarious. And I'm like, you the one. But only keep her as friend of. Don't bring her as a full-time cast member.
Just keep her where she is.
But keep her as friend of, as long as she's able to keep Margaret accountable.
Yes.
Like every time
she does.
She does. Which I like.
She does that.
Yeah, one of my friends was like, Caitlin, that when Jen Fessler fell in Ireland, she was like, that is absolutely you. And this is a friend who's known me since I was 20 years old. She was like, the way she popped back up, she was like, Caitlin, that was you. And I was
that's hilarious. That is hilarious.
But yes.
Mare.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I agree with you guys. Like, the family strife I don't want to see. I want Melissa and Joe to go. I want Joe. I don't know. Joe can come on here and there, but like, somebody needs to go. But Teresa is New Jersey, and I know Diana, you and I have had this conversation. She's New Jersey. Like, if she goes, I don't know where New Jersey's going anymore, right? But Rachel Fuda, I think she every housewife deserves a second season. She should stay.
Agreed.
Not every housewife. I don't agree with that.
Well,
Diana Jenkins in Beverly Hills, absolutely. I'm glad she's not coming back.
No,
I'm sorry.
Not Diana.
Okay.
Not Diana. I see. My mind when you say that goes to Noella on Orange County.
On Orange
she
County.
should have had another season.
I completely agree, because she was a great cast member.
She was
in
great.
my opinion.
And finally,
she was fantastic.
a tiny bit of diversity in there.
Yeah,
Give me a break.
Definitely.
I don't need a ton of blonde white girls in there. I need something. She shook that.
Watch
She really did. She really did shake it up, and so. keep everyone. I love Danielle. Rachel Fuda, she really made up for her season on the reunion because I saw more of her intelligence. I saw she's quick-witted. Like she was quick-witted with it. Like, and I was like, oh man, I wish we could have seen more of this on the actual like season. But clearly she's Melissa's friend. Clearly, like that's the side that she's playing on. For some reason, if we take Melissa out of the equation, the only name I have to go back into the White Housewives like history vault to see like how this dynamic worked. Kim D keeps popping up in my head. I don't know why, but it's just popping up in my head. A good villain.
No.
A good villain. Like, you know,
wait, Kim D.
I don't know.
I feel like Caroline Manzo.
The blonde lady, like the blonde one.
Yeah,
they're both blonde. What the one that the one that has the podcast or the one that was like Danielle's friend.
The one that was Danielle's friend. Her.
Wait.
Kim G? I think you mean Kim G.
No.
Kim G?
No.
Is that her name?
No, you're talking about Kim D.
Am I mixing them up?
Hold on, let me show you.
I could be mixing
let me find
them
it.
up.
Kim D.
There's Kim G and a Kim D, right?
I think it's Kim D. Like she's the one. There was like one season
The one who
where it
owns
was
Posh.
The one that owns Posh.
Her, yes, her.
Kim D.
She knows way
would
too
shake
much
it
about
up.
these people.
This,
she would.
This woman.
Yes, she as a friend of. I would never want her
I don't.
holding the
as a cast
possible.
member?
What are they even holding? They're not holding anything.
You know why I don't even want Kim D on the show? Because I feel like she's actually going to give us Marlo from RHOA. Yeah,
That is such a great point.
And I think that if we if we want petty and not dark, Kim D, I think she will bring the dark. You know, because every time Kim D has popped up, it's some egregious and dangerous rumor that she's had on somebody.
You know, that's fair.
You know?
Yeah.
That's fair. But the thing is that she's not afraid of Teresa, which is what I like about her.
Yeah,
she's not
remember
afraid.
that moment when Teresa
Neither is Caroline Manzo.
Yeah, remember it? Like, yeah, neither is Caroline Manzo. That's true. But Kim D, I don't know what clip I saw. It was Melissa and Teresa coming in a restaurant, and Kim D's like, "If you want this, like,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh my
at the Posh
god!"
fashion show.
Yeah,
And Teresa was ready to grab her by the neck.
Yeah,
She literally like had her hand like that and was not
man.
trying. Teresa was like, "What
Yeah.
can I knock overs on this table?" And she was like, "Yeah,
Absolutely.
Kim D is interesting.
I know Caroline has had offers from Bravo aside from Girls Trip.
I've heard.
But I think if she had the right price, she'd do it.
You
I think so too. I think so.
Okay, I wouldn't be mad at seeing her
kids,
again.
Her kids would be hopping on it too as well.
Yes,
they love that.
I will say I know if Caroline had the right price, she would.
I wouldn't be mad at seeing her back again. All right, well, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I'm glad we got to talk all things Jersey. We had such a blast. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you. Please, Caitlin, tell them exactly where they can find you.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank y'all so much for having me. It can be found on literally just any platform you listen to podcasts. It's Besties by Bravo because Bravo made us all besties. Come on.
Yes, it did actually.
Yeah, it's at Besties by Bravo. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all of it.
All of it. Perfect. So please go ahead and follow her on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the above, and enjoy. Also listen to her podcast, Apple Podcast, you said, right?
Apple, Spotify,
Perfect.
Amazon Music, iHeart, everything.
Yes.
Perfect. So you can find her everywhere. Listen, especially if you're into Scandival and all of that stuff. Go take a listen. Go take a listen. All right. So thank you all so much. We love you. Hope you're doing well, and can't wait for you to hear us next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.